When we are feeling good, we are quite happy to let others come near us. That's who we are. I feel so good. Come on, let's have some celebration. But when we are in pain, we tend to cut ourselves off from others. We often experience that. Well, why don't you come and join us? No, I'm not feeling today good. No one wants to have sore spot touched. When we have that kind of moment, we want it left alone. That's who we are. I mean, perhaps, majority of people might feel the same way. While this is quite understandable, I believe that it's a mistake. How can healing happen if we will not allow our wounds to be seen and touched? Well, I remember I had a really deep cut here in this finger. I did something stupid. I used a really big, thick knife to cut the letter, and then, oops, that happened. And then so I ended up with coming to the emergency room. The doctor was touching my wounds. My gosh, that was painful. But without seeing, without being touched, there's no way that we can be healed. I've been here almost now 7 months. By now, you probably recognize that I love stories. I love stories. And many stories, in fact, some of you already heard from me. Oh, this is a great story. Can I use this story? And then I always get the permission. All the stories that I share with you, actually, I always get the permission first. So this is one of the stories I want to share with you. A priest, a friend of mine in South Korea, was going to Latin America, precisely Peru, for mission. He was stopping by one of the U.S. airports, just stopping by, transitional one. On the plane, while he was waiting for his plane, he found himself sitting right beside women from Peru. And so woman told him how she was returning home. I don't know how they engaged the conversation. That details I don't remember, to be honest. But somehow he engaged the conversation, this woman, and then she told that her mother went through the 3 operations in the United States. So he said, oh, okay, is your mother feeling better now? Oh, yes, the woman said. She's completely cured. All her family members will be waiting at the airport to welcome her back. And then, that's great. And then women asked, so where are you going? You are obviously Asian, but you spoke Spanish really well. I'm kind of envious for that. You spoke Spanish really well. Where are you going? So he said, I'm going to South. I'm going to Peru for mission. Why? Because I'm a Catholic priest. When he told that, her face was changed. She leaned over and took him by the arms and whispered in the agonized voice, oh, Father, my mother is not doing well. Could you please pray for me? Pray for my mom. Why did that woman feel she had to keep up the pretense that all was well? Why did she have to hide not only the moral, physical wounds of her mother, but her own emotion wounds as well? Surely they were not things to be ashamed of, right? My friend told me this. He sensed her hope, her desire. In other words, her own wounds were caused by love. In other words, because she was hoping that. Because she was desiring that. So she was sharing that to the stranger. But once she found out that he was a priest, she shared her wounds and hurts. Now, let us consider that story. I share the story for a reason. Let us just consider the story, the case of this man who is the center of today's gospel. Oh, Thomas the doubter, right? Thomas. Let's have that story in your mind. Now connect that with today's gospel. After the death of Jesus, he fled from the company of the apostles. Thus, he missed the first appearance of the risen one. Why did he get away from that? Because he was hurt. Because he followed the Lord. He knew who Jesus was. Yet he had to see his loved one on the cross. No wonder why. He couldn't bear. He was hurt. Yet he heard about this. Well, Jesus was risen. Right, he told me that. And yet, it was so funny, he was jealous, okay? You know what? Unless he showed me these wounds, unless I touch this and that, I am not going to believe. Pay attention to what Jesus is dealing with him. First thing Jesus did was what? He said to him and his apostles, what did he say? What is the first word? You betrayer? No. I'm gonna choke you. How dare you let away from me? He didn't say that, right? Oh, you little one. Little faith. He didn't say that. What was first word, my brothers and sisters? Peace. Oh my gosh, right? Imagine this. You betrayed somebody. That person appeared to you. I am in big trouble, right? And yet he said what? Peace be with you. Whoa. I don't know about you, if I were there and Jesus appeared to me, even though I betrayed him, I ran away from him. John, peace be with you. I don't know about you, I might break down because I'm not worthy for that. That's the first one. Remember the details. Notice the door was locked and Jesus came through it anyway. That's a different story. That's another 30 minutes homily. I'm not going to go there. Second thing that Jesus did was what? To show him and the apostles what? His what? Wounds. Now you got that. You see the storyline now. Can you connect that? He showed his wounds. For they were the proof of his love. They were the mortal wounds the good shepherd suffered in defending his flock from the wolf. And what did he do? He invited Thomas. Thomas, come here. Thomas, come here. And Thomas touched Jesus' wounds. 5 wounds, just in case. Remember the Paschal candle? How many wounds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the way, who was the wounded one? Jesus? No. Thomas was the wounded one. He was wounded by grief, loneliness, doubt, and despair. In his pain, he wanted to be alone. He wanted to get away from the people. Even though his wounds were invisible, they were very real. I bet you will agree upon this. But Jesus was able to see them. It was he who touched Thomas' wounds. Jesus was the one. Thomas touched my wounds, but it was actually Jesus who touched Thomas' wounds. It's like my brother priest, when she leaned over him, when he prayed over her, healing happened. Here it is, the critical element of healing in Jesus. It is by showing our wounds, by touching and being touched, by being touched and then touched, that we are healed. Amazing thing is, Jesus came through that door. No matter how much we say, I am not going to do it. No, I am not. No. Jesus can come through that anyway, if we just allow him to do it. Then what happened next? Just like the first reading, we become a conduit of his healing, my brothers and sisters. If you are healed, if we are healed, if we are touched by Jesus, if we touch his wounds, and if we are somehow transformed, if we believe who Jesus is, if we accept it, we cannot stop but sharing that. What do you think I am doing right now? That's exactly what I'm doing. Because I was touched by Jesus, I touched Jesus, and all the things I struggled with in the past, I experienced amazing healing. And I want to convey that to you. Human heart is healed only by the presence of another human being who understands the human pain and who knows better than Jesus about human suffering. There we go. We witnessed it 2 weeks ago and Good Friday. The world today is full of Thomas the doubters. They will not come to believe unless they can touch Jesus' wounds and see the radiance of his face. How many Catholics, seriously, let's be honest, how many Catholics? I hear this one all the time. I've been a Catholic for 40 years and 50 years, Father. I've always felt empty somehow. And somehow something happened at the Mass or confession or something happened. It was the moment they allowed to be touched. It was the moment that they touched Jesus. And then they have a personal experience of Jesus. At that moment, they say, my Lord and my God. I really want you to be touched by Jesus. That's all I want. Seriously. I want you to touch Jesus. That's all I want. But where can we do it? Eucharist. Eucharist. Don't we believe that this is a precious body of our Lord? Right? And what do? We do this, right? Then what happened? Jesus is touched by us, and Jesus touched us, right? And then Jesus comes to where? Right here, right? Logically speaking. Today, Divine Mercy Sunday. Let's pick up Thomas. Lord, I am wounded. I am lonely. I'm suffering. I want to see. I want to be touched by you. I want to be healed. Why not become a Thomas? Who knows? Today, you might be able to say, because of Jesus' gentle touch, you might be able to say, my Lord and my God. Who knows? Today, you might receive the complete gift of healing.